Aristotle doesn't seem to have been known. He's not much talked about at all. Plato is. David? Yeah, and some people say, oh, this is a kind of eclecticism. Culling out a bit there, making a patchwork quilt and calling it original. No, that's not what they're doing. It seems to me they're working with some, what I call perspective. They're working with their Christian convictions. This is the starting point. When they find something in Plato which seems to be supportive or to amplify some Christian belief, then they tend to take interest in it, to use that language, sometimes to adopt the concepts. But in doing so, they're careful to detach it from connections alien to the Christian faith. You see? So while they value Plato's emphasis on the immateriality of soul and its immortality, and actually use some of his arguments for immortality, they do not buy into his notion of pre-existence or transmigration. They realize the individual soul is created by God. So it's not merely an eclectic culling of bits and pieces. What they're doing is wrestling with some of the same questions, which of course are posed by their Christian theology. And in order to flesh out their thinking, they make use of what resources there are at hand. Clement, who was more of an apologist than a constructive thinker, Clement talks of using all of the resources of the culture for the defense of the gospel. And I think it's fair to say that others see themselves as using not only the language of the culture, but the thinking of the culture in order to articulate their beliefs and contribute in that way to the spread and the rooting of the church. Yeah. Had they not taken close attention to Plato, I don't think Christian theology would have developed with the, I was going to say, the comparative rapidity with which it developed. They didn't have the conceptual tools. Let me make one other footnote there. Whenever you use the language of a culture, you're adopting the ideas. Now, if there's one thing that political correctness is saying, that's what it's saying. You use the language of racism, and you're adopting the idea, unconsciously perhaps. Now, it seems to me the genius of the Church Fathers was that in using the language, they realized they were adopting the concepts, and were extremely cautious in what they did with it. Now, that's not to say that some of them didn't goof. By 300 AD, I think it was fairly clearly seen that Clement and Origen were mistaken in certain matters that are pretty crucial. But not in their use of Greek concepts. They're mistaken in how they use them, but not in using them. And that process of self-criticism and refinement goes on and on. Yeah. It's hard to find any developed theology which isn't dependent on some philosophical scheme. You name it, and I'll name the philosophical scheme. Luther, Occam's nominalism. Calvin, Seneca, Cicero, Stoicism. Charles Hodge, Presbyterian theologian, Scottish realism. Augustus Hopkins Strong, Baptist theologian, personal idealism, 19th century. So on and so forth. Because theology is using language and concepts that are drawn from comparable philosophical positions.